What if I told you a truck driver cracked the code to building a crypto empire? Meet Bitcoin Ben. He went from driving 18-wheelers to creating 6 different ways for regular people to stack Bitcoin and build wealth. This isn't just another crypto course. This is a complete ecosystem where you earn while you learn. First up, the confidential bulk purchase program. Get Bitcoin at wholesale prices through group buying power. Then there's Home to HODL. Convert your home equity directly into Bitcoin instead of cash. Need funding? The Loans for Bitcoin program gets you the capital to buy more crypto. Want passive income? Private Key Capital puts your Bitcoin to work. Hungry for something different? Bitcoin Ben's tokenized beef lets you invest in real cattle backed by blockchain technology. And if you want to mine? Bitcoin Ben's mining program gets you started with the right equipment and knowledge. But here's the kicker. Bitcoin Ben's Crypto Club pays you to learn. Earn 10% on direct referrals, 5% on second level, 2% on third level. This might be the only membership where you make more than you pay. Ben went from 10 years behind the wheel to becoming the world's most unlikely crypto expert. Now he's sharing everything through live training, community events, and proven systems that work. Ready to stop watching from the sidelines? Join Bitcoin Ben's Crypto Club today and start stacking sats while building your financial future. Your truck driving days are over. Your crypto empire starts now.
Yes. Oh, hang on a second. Yes, it does. Good morning, everybody. It's Red Bull time. And like every good Thursday, Jay was not able to do his show today. So I said, Jay, I got your back, brother. And I'm here. And I'll be here tomorrow, too. Now, like every good morning, Red Bull, coffee, and smokes. It's not an American day without at least coffee and smokes. I add the Red Bull just for flavor. Okay, guys, I want to show you something. Okay, this here. Oh, let me move this. All right. Oh, please like and subscribe to the channel if you're watching. Appreciate it. Love you guys. Okay. Recently we hit 38. I love how they put 38.01. Gee, thanks guys. That 0.01 really shows us we're in deep shit. No. We hit $38 trillion in American debt. Now, this number is a lie. This is, hey guys, this is what we owe according to the Treasury bonds and none of the derivatives or none of the Social Security, none of the Medicare, none of the Obamacare, none of the other shit we owe. This is just our Treasury bonds that are outstanding right now. That's basically, this is the equivalent of looking at yourself and going, you know what? I got to get my debt under control. I just got to get my debt under control. And then looking at your mortgage and saying, okay, that's what I owe. That's it. No credit cards, no cars, no electric bill, no cable, internet, no insurance, no. The only thing you're looking at is your mortgage. That's it. That is ridiculous. If you actually base what you owe on just your mortgage, you're completely lying to yourself. You're like, no, I'm not in that bad a shape. I only owe $4,000 a month for, my mortgage. That's it. That's all I owe. Never mind the approximately $6,000 or $7,000 a month extra that I have to pay. That's extra shit. That's not really included in my bills. It's absolutely horseshit. And look at this. Look, from 2000, we were around $6.8 trillion in 2000. Now, for us older people, that seems like a long time ago. It's like, damn, I remember December 31st, 1999. We all thought we were going to die. We all thought that none of our clocks would work, the internet would shut down, and everything would shut off. Yeah, that didn't happen. But in 2000, we owed approximately $6.7 trillion. That's manageable. That's with what we bring in, what we pay in taxes every year, that's relatively manageable. Let's look at 2006. We start crossing 8 trillion. Okay. All right, we got to watch this. We really got to watch our bills. We hit about 2009, 2007, 2008. And look what happens. We jump up to about $10 trillion. This here is when we should have chopped up some fucking credit cards right here and said, okay, shit's getting a little stupid. Let's kind of roll this shit back. All right. We are going to cut off Netflix. We are going to trade in our brand new Corvette on a used Honda, and we're going to get our shit under control. Well, then we hit about 2012. Now we're at about 14 or 15 trillion dollars. That's when you're like, okay, I'm going to need an extra job. I'm going to go do Uber. I'm going to work at my regular job, but I'm going to work at Uber at night, and I need to pay some shit down. Well, in 2020, you basically said, fuck it, I'm rolling the dice at the casino with my rent money. And look at 2020. We all know what happened there. That was COVID. All right. We go straight. Look at this. In 5 years, we have jumped from about $23 trillion in debt to $38 trillion in debt. This is what I'm talking about, guys. We have gone full fucking financial retard. We are out there. Here, let me put it this way, guys. We are full-fledged hookers and coke in Las Vegas right now. That's where we're at. We're at $38 trillion in debt. Every 92 days, we roll over another $1 trillion worth of debt. 92 days. What is that, like 3 months? Wait, yeah, that's like 3 months. You're exactly right. What's crazy? When does this BS illusion end? That's a great point. Because it is a fucking illusion. All of our money is an illusion because they print it up. Right? For those of you who listen to Chairman Powell of the Federal Reserve, they're just going to print money. And if you look at what happened over in Japan with the lady who was just elected, she is going to print more money than they have in existence right now. And she's going to kick out all of the illegals, all of them. She is basically an Oriental woman Trump. They are going to print money like it's going out of fucking out of style. I'm talking 1987 hairspray hair. Like that, out of style. And it isn't just America. It isn't just us who are like, you know what? Crank up those printing presses. We got some work to do, folks. And see, that's what's crazy. They look at printing money as creating value. They don't look at production as value. They look, when they say GDP, absolute bullshit. Absolute bullshit. Because they rate production off of price. No. How many units produced is production? That's production, right? If I actually make one Red Bull, but I charge $100,000 per Red Bull, that doesn't mean I'm producing more Red Bull. That just means Red Bull costs more. But since they look at the GDP, gross domestic product, they look at it in the dollar value. That's retarded. That's, if you have inflation, but you produce less, your GDP technically could go up, but you're not producing more. It just costs more. It's a totally retarded, because it's government, way of registering how much you produce. It's all bullshit. Our dollar is bullshit. The yen is bullshit. The rupee is bullshit. It's all bullshit. And what I love about it, what I really find hilarious about all of this is they keep saying it. They keep acting like the Federal Reserve has some magical fucking formula out there. Be like, don't worry, we got this. Guys, we got a money printer. Don't worry, we can print more of this shit. We can print it all shit, and we don't even have to print all of it. All we have to do is print a certain amount, give it to the banks, let fractional reserve banking, let that kick in. And then we've really printed a lot of money, but most of it's, digital, leveraged. And what's even more amazing is all of this, all of our currency is actually based on what? Treasury bonds. Well, what are the treasury bonds actually based off of? Future taxation. That sounds a whole lot like a futures market for our fucking labor. See, I've said 1,000 times, the Civil War didn't free anybody. It enslaved all of us. Is it a surprise that after the Civil War, after they created civil law, that's why they called it Civil War, they reconstructed, remember, after the Civil War, we had a great reconstruction. It wasn't building buildings. It was reconstructing the government because we went broke. So they reconstructed the legal system on top of the constitutional system, and they created what we call civil law, which is basically civil law is corporate law. Civilization is a corporate nation. That's it. They created a legal structure that is called the United States of America. That's a corporation. It's a trust that was shaped under common law trust. And let's get into the weeds on this. All right. Theodore Roosevelt talked softly, but carry a big ass fucking stick. Theodore Roosevelt was the trust buster. I'm getting rid of all of these trusts. What he was doing was getting rid of the competition for the United States of America because they only wanted one trust. They wanted the government trust. And Washington, D.C., the land, was put under the trust as property. Great question. Who owns the trust? Well, who used to own the trust was, say it with me, the Queen. The Queen. The Queen of England owned the trust. We remember a few weeks ago when Donald Trump went over and had a little visit with the royal family. Exactly. The Crown Corporation. They also own Canada and others. See, what people don't understand is the Civil War was Europe creating a new country. We all of a sudden were just like Australia. We could live here. We could manage ourselves. We could elect people. But no. We were subservient, you know what the hell I'm trying to say, to the crown since the Civil War and through the global bankers who are the asset holders of the crown. They're upper management, but they're not the head honchos. This is all legalese, guys. This is all legalese. So then in 1913, they're like, okay, let's launch this fiat money shit. We're ready. We got the whole Civil War taken care of. We have all of the civil law written. We have everything legally in place where we can launch our fiat currency out of what we shall call the Federal Reserve. Sure in the fuck ain't federal, and they ain't got fuck none of reserves. And now, for the last 115 years, 112 years, we've been living under these fucktards. Because he who owns or he who produces the money runs this bitch. Like my grandfather used to say, he who feeds you controls you. Ain't that the fucking truth? Because if you're reliant on someone else to give you food, my friend, you a slave. And we have been slaves under this tyranny for years. Approximately, like I said, I think it's 112 years. Or something like that. It's nuts. Let's just put it that way. It's absolutely batshit nuts. But the revolution. Let's look at this chart again. All right. Isn't it odd that right out about 2007, the shit basically went absolutely batshit crazy? Look at that. It goes straight up. Straight the fuck up. What happened then? What happened in 2007, 2008, 2009? The great financial crisis. Folks, that wasn't the crisis. That was their reset. That was where we're like, okay, we're bailing out everything. And when I say bailing out, don't let them trick you with that word bailout. What they were basically saying was, we're just going to buy everything. We are going to print money and we're going to buy everything, including the people. That's why they launched Obamacare. Because they're like, you know what? How do we get a hold of these sumbitches? How do we really control them? And how do we get more of their money? Oh, I know. Let's go after their quote unquote health care that we've been really trying to kill them with. This is absolutely batshit crazy, guys, because what happened was, and for those of you who were paying attention, remember when John Roberts all of a sudden comes out sweating like a fucking pig and kind of he had a worse time talking than I did, or I do. This guy sounded like a stumblefuck. And he was like, Obamacare is constitutional. Everyone's like, wait, what the fuck did you say? Obamacare is constitutional. Mind you, a week prior, he had written the paper explaining how it was unconstitutional. Wait. So you write a paper that you're going to announce it's unconstitutional. Then all the fuck a sudden, a week later, you're like, yeah, this is totally legal. This is totally kosher, that they can tax you for this and they can call it a tax and not a penalty, or it's just legal, guys. Our health care. And remember Obama? It's going to cut your tax. It's going to cut your health care costs by 40% or some horseshit number. For those of us who remember, about that time, health insurance for my whole family, a month, and it was 2 adults and 3 kids, maybe 500 a month, with decent benefits. Nowadays, dude, I got a friend, and when he told, this dude has him, his wife, and I think they got 4 kids. They pay $4,100 a month. And they have, I think they have to have 10 grand out of pocket. 10 grand out of pocket before the insurance really kicks in. Guys, this whole system, you have to remember, this whole system was created on the labor of humans. Trust me, I had to tell him to just cancel that. I did. And he said, I can't. My wife won't let me. Okay. Question is, how do we fix this? Very simple. Now, I'm not saying the journey is going to be easy, but it's a very simple fix. The repercussions of the fix, that's going to be a little bumpy, because we got a lot of socialists and a lot of communists in our country. That's an issue, folks. When you live in a country that has a constitution like ours, our Constitution is the opposite of the communistic structure. We are all about private property. Their goal is to abolish private property. There's no middle ground. There's no meat in the middle on private property. We're already doing that. We call it taxes. We call it employment taxes. Guys, 60-something% of the money we make goes to taxes one way or another. Income tax, personal property tax, capital gains tax. This is a mafiaistic, if that's not a word, it should be. This is a mafiaistic structure. Look here. I tell you what, we got some offices over here. And we got this military thing, all right? Which, remember, guys, prior to World War II, we didn't have a military complex. There was no military complex in America until World War II. We have had continuous military existence since World War II. What the fuck for? We didn't need it before. We don't need it now. Now, I'm not saying get rid of the military. What I'm saying is send these motherfuckers home. I love the people from the military, but send them home. Keep them in the National Guard, right? Keep them in the National Guard, working their weekends, doing shit like, I got no problem with that. But there's no reason that the Pentagon, which is absolutely a fucking money pit, guys, the Pentagon has not been audited in like so many years. That's like living your life and never checking your checkbook. That just showed my age. And the reason they're doing it, the reason for all of this, well, the general reason, we could go into the woo-woo reason, but that's something else. This has been a structure that has been created to enslave and leech off the productivity of Americans. Does anyone find it a little odd that since the 1940s and 50s, that Americans, their income, their real income, the private economy's growth has went down while the growth of the government has went up? Because remember, guys, the government doesn't produce fuck all. So if the private sector is shrinking and the government is growing, that means the government is removing the productivity from the private sector, the workers, and they're putting it into the government, and the government is growing. If your government is outgrowing your private sector, that is a slow communistic transaction. See, we were originally created as a republic. A republic has a little bitty federal government, little bitty. They only handle the outside of America and the relationships of Illinois and Missouri. If Illinois has a problem with Missouri, they go to the federal court and they duke it out. The federal government never, ever had any influence on individual rights. Ever. Whenever you hear someone say, well, that's unconstitutional, they need to rephrase it and just say, that's not in the Constitution. Because unconstitutional is not a judgment of right or wrong, ethically, morally. Unconstitutional means it ain't in the fucking Constitution. That's the equivalent of me saying, everyone should have a car and drive their car to Arizona at least once a year. It says that in the Bible. No, it doesn't. It's not biblical. Biblical means Bible, referring to the Bible. When you say something is biblical, it is referring to something written in the Bible. If I say everyone should have a car, or according to God, everyone should have a car and they should drive to Arizona once a year, that is unbiblical. Just like unconstitutional. It ain't fucking in there. This is part of it. Randy Smith, my boy from Florida, says Florida legalized gold and silver coins. It was always legal. It was always legal, just not under the civil legal structure. See, common law, which is what our original country was built on. We were built on common law and Magna Carta, because common law sits on top of Magna Carta. And then they overlaid on top of common law, they overlaid to civil law. It was always legal. It's just people were never educated that they could claim that right. See, you only have rights you claim. That's what a lot of people don't understand. Whenever an authority comes to you and says, you done broke this law here, you done broke it. You claim common law. You say, no, I claim my right under common law that this has no authority over me because I have not signed a contract for that agreement. Common law is contract law of individuals. The government has no say over private contracts at all until the Civil War. The Emancipation Proclamation. Why do you think they named it that? Emancipation Proclamation. Do you know what emancipation is? It doesn't mean freedom. Emancipation is a legal word that means relieved of your debt. It's bankruptcy. That's it. We wipe away your debt. The Emancipation Proclamation was the equivalent because proclamation at that time, under the law, under common law, proclamation is the equivalent of what we call an executive order. Proclamation is the common law equivalent of an executive order, except in civil law. Remember, civilization is corporate nation. A presidential executive order is a order from the executor of the office. America is shaped like a corporation. We got a president, we got a treasurer, we got a vice president, we got this, we got that. All this shit's going away, right? Because Trump, this is what people need to realize. Has anyone noticed that no one has really put out a true documentary on Trump and his family? Who is Trump's family? Where do they originate? What is Trump's bloodline? And almost more importantly, what is his wife's bloodline? What is his wife's bloodline? Because remember, guys, bloodlines run off the mother, not the father. What is his wife's bloodline? What royal family does his wife? Here's a little hint. Trump's dad's middle name was Jesus. That's a hint. Now, German and Scottish. I'm telling you guys, this is bigger than anybody realizes. What happened when Trump married his wife? Look back when that happened. Look back. For those of you who don't know, his wife at the time was known as a supermodel. That woman and her bloodline, they make Trump look poor. She didn't need Trump's money. I think she's fluent in 6 languages. My friends, this is a war of the bloodlines, is what we are witnessing. Oh, hang on 1 second. Word from the sponsor.
What if I told you a truck driver cracked the code to building a crypto empire? Meet Bitcoin Ben. He went from driving 18-wheelers to creating 6 different ways for regular people to stack Bitcoin and build wealth. This isn't just another crypto course. This is a complete ecosystem where you earn while you learn. First up, the confidential bulk purchase program. Get Bitcoin at wholesale prices through group buying power. Then there's Home to HODL. Convert your home equity directly into Bitcoin instead of cash. Need funding? The Loans for Bitcoin program gets you the capital to buy more crypto. Want passive income? Private Key Capital puts your Bitcoin to work. Hungry for something different? Bitcoin Ben's tokenized beef lets you invest in real cattle backed by blockchain technology. And if you want to mine? Bitcoin Ben's mining program gets you started with the right equipment and knowledge. But here's the kicker. Bitcoin Ben's Crypto Club pays you to learn. Earn 10% on direct referrals, 5% on second level, 2% on third level. This might be the only membership where you make more than you pay. Ben went from 10 years behind the wheel to becoming the world's most unlikely crypto expert. Now he's sharing everything through live training, community events, and proven systems that work. Ready to stop watching from the sidelines? Join Bitcoin Ben's Crypto Club today and start stacking sats while building your financial future. Your truck driving days are over. Your crypto empire starts now.
Absolutely it does. Guys and gals, this is simple. Very, very simple. Give us a call, 941-413-8080. We have so many ways of getting you extra Bitcoin. We do home refinancing. We get you loans. The goal right now is to get as much friggin' Bitcoin as you can. And, well, we'll talk about that later. Like and subscribe and give us a call or send us a text, 941-413-8080, and just ask, how can you get me some more Bitcoin? We will hook you guys up. All right, now, like and subscribe, please. All right, now, someone brought something up over here, right? Oh, hang on. Oh, dang it. There we go. Yes, Rick Costa, the official historian of the Bitcoin Ben Show. Keep an eye on Barron. He's going to be something for sure in the coming days. Folks, why do you think they named him Baron? Do you know what a baron is in the old language? What a baron is this goes way back. This is like pre-Magna Carta language. When someone was a baron, they owned large areas. They were a baron. They bore the land. They were a baron. And that word, that name originates at a have you ever heard of something actually called a what do you call them, bearer bond, where you actually bear the bond, you own it, it's your bond. That's where that all comes from. You think they chose his name using dice? No. These are bloodlines. Everyone knows how huge Trump is on his family. Everything is family. Everything is family with him because of the bloodline. His mom and his dad, bloodline. There's a reason. You guys have to realize Trump and his family are not just New York people. They're from New York, he buys hotels, he makes nice hotels. That's what Trump does, that's what his dad was in real estate. Wait. Now, Trump's mom and dad were very close with Richard Nixon and another guy named Goldwater. Now, we can go into a rabbit hole on Goldwater. There's a reason not many people know who Goldwater is. There's a reason for that. Now, let's talk about Richard Nixon. Did you know that Richard Nixon, he He won more votes than any president in American history. He won more votes than any president in American history. I think he won 67% of the popular vote. 67%. Yep. In 1972, Richard Nixon was the 70s Trump. That's why they went after him. And Watergate, that eventually took down Nixon. Watergate was getting rid of the deep state. Watergate was Nixon proving that the CIA had actually killed JFK. It was all in there. And that's why a few years later, you had the church hearings, which basically went the fuck off on the CIA. The church hearings is what led to us actually finding out about MK Ultra. Like, wait, what the fuck were you guys doing? Let me put it this way. All right. The CIA, along with the American healthcare system, was poisoning Black people with syphilis since 1940, maybe earlier than that, since like 1933 until 1974. This was a CIA program that was giving Black people syphilis. And that came out in the church hearings. The church hearings was because of Nixon. It was because of Watergate. Let me put it this way, guys. One of the reporters who broke the Watergate story, I don't remember his name. I think it was Bernstein. I think. That sounds right. Did you know that he was ex-CIA? And he had just recently gotten hired at, I think, the New York Times. And the first article he ever put out was the Watergate article. So let me get this right. Ex-CIA agent quits. The CIA gets hired by the most prestigious, I use that word loosely, newspaper in America, and writes a story and gets this secret guy named Deep Throat, which I find it ironic that they named him Deep Throat with the timing of the 70s. Anyone else? So this secret guy who's like, oh, there's some bad stuff going on. Let me leak to this brand new fucking reporter and his buddy. And I'm going to tell everybody what's really going on in the Nixon White House. Yes. Exactly. Woodward and Bernstein. I don't remember which one it was. I think it was Bernstein who was, maybe it was Woodward. One of them was a CIA person leaves, quote unquote, leaves the CIA, had never written for a paper in his fucking life, gets hired on at one of the biggest newspapers in the world. And his first story is, guess what? Hey, I got this inside guy, man. I got this inside guy named Deep Throat who's giving me all this info, man. I got the info. I got it. And breaks this amazing story. Then all of a sudden it's, oh my God, look what happened. This is so horrible. This is like the worst thing ever. Let me put it this way, folks. The office at Watergate Hotel was the equivalent of Hillary Clinton's server in her bathroom at her house. Back then, they didn't store shit on servers. So they had an office where they stored the shit. This is some of the roots of all of this. But we really, if you look at where this all originates from, this is old school. And when I say old school, I mean pre-English language shit. This is Arabic. This goes way. Anybody ever wonder why Hitler wanted to recreate the Aryan nation? Do you know what an Aryan is? It's a person from Iran. Aryan. Iran, the word Iran in Arabic is Aryan. This is about bloodlines. Why do you think Hitler and Mengele, right? Mengele, why do you think they were doing so many tests on humans? Why do you think they did so many tests on the twins? We look at this as U.S. versus China, U.S. versus Russia. Guys, that's all imaginary fucking lines and bullshit. This is a war of bloodlines. I did a show a while back, and this is your guys' homework for today. Look up the history of China. Now, for those of you who don't know much about China, let me explain. Everyone has heard, well, not everyone. China revolves around three really cultural environments. You have Confucius, right? For those of you who don't know who Confucius is, it's where we get the word confused. Then we have, what's the second one? Oh, yes, thank you, Taoism, right? So in China, there are three things that you can be. You can actually be what they call a Taoist or a Confucianist, and that's usually the only ones that people know. But there's a third one. What is the third one? The third one is actually called a legalist. Anyone ever wonder why there's so many people in China named Li? because the roots are from legalist. That's where we get the term legal. Legalists are what we would call communist today. That's what a legalist is. That's where a lot of this shit started from, was that area of China and like upper Africa area. Yeah. This is all about bloodlines. All right. Did you know, listen to this. Did you know about, let's look at Rome. All right. We've all heard of Rome, right? The largest city in Rome, at the height of Rome, had 100,000 people. Let that sink in. Athens, Greece, at its heyday, had about 24,000 people. Let that sink in, folks. There are some not very populated towns in America that have more than 24,000 people. And in Athens, Greece, at the heyday, they had about 24,000 people. Everything that these bloodline wars are is, and it's going to sound bad, but it's true, it's management of the people. The reason that the legalists in China, how they shaped their ideas, was China was getting more and more people. And they needed a way to organize the society. So you had the legalist, and you had the Confucius, and you had the other one that I still can't fucking remember right now. Oh, the Taoist, yes. You ain't wrong, brother. Rome never fell. It just became the Vatican. You ain't wrong. We're living through a revolution right now. And what most of us, at least in the crypto world, what we're looking at is the economics of it. The economics is just one of the tools of control. Oh, yeah. Charles met with the Pope there today. Yes, he did. Because Trump met with Charles a few weeks ago. Anyone find it odd? We remember the old Pope, the last Pope. Anyone find it odd that the Pope died the day after J.D. Vance visited him? And does anyone know how J.D. Vance's religious beliefs, how they feel about the Pope? They're not Pope friendly. They don't like the Pope. They are anti-Pope. See, absent management changes, but the structure does not. You are absolutely correct. But that's what Trump is changing. You know why the price of gold is going up? Because of Trump. And because of some structure that was changed. See, America reclaimed its control over the price of the dollar a few years ago when we basically took out the elite control in London and we moved it back to America. The shit's getting real, folks. And gold and silver and the Bitcoin are the economic answer. Let me put it this way. George Washington and Benjamin Franklin and Thomas Jefferson, if they would be around right now and they saw the Bitcoin, they'd have been like, fuck yeah, let's do that. Why? Because and look into the history of this. George Washington, Benjamin Franklin, Hamilton, and Thomas Jefferson all did a deep dive research on whether they should use gold or silver as money. They came to the conclusion to use silver. Look at the Constitution. Look at what it says about creating the money. It's weighed in silver, not gold. You ask yourself, why, Ben? Why the fuck would they use silver? Because silver was known as the common man's money. Over here, gold was the elite's money. It's always actually been the elite's money. It still fucking is. Do you know that the general public owns maybe, what I last hear, like 7% of the gold in existence? 7%. And that's all over the world, folks. That ain't just America. At the time, the only people who had gold were the elites. It's still the same. Except now we're transitioning. We're transitioning from the Bretton Woods structure into what will probably be called the Mar-a-Lago Accords. I'm sure you've heard that kind of sprinkled around a little bit. We are going to transition from the Bretton Woods to the Mar-a-Lago Accords. And it is going to be a decentralized global economic system that will involve gold, silver, and Bitcoin. Anybody that doesn't believe that is not fucking paying attention. With all this shit Trump's doing and Trump's changing and Trump's got on his plate, you think him and his family would allocate their energy to the Bitcoin if it wasn't fundamental in the future of America? Trump has already said that. Shit, Besant has already said that. Like, yeah, the issue is, just like the founding fathers of America, there's a group of elites and they run a system. They don't want to free America from the debt. Nope. That's their whole system, folks. They don't want America and Americans to have their own currency. That's why they created the Federal Reserve. Think about this, folks. Why would you remove the authority from the Treasury Department into a private entity to create the currency for the common man use. See, the world doesn't use dollars. They're not, hey, Japan, I'll send you $100,000. They're not counting out fucking 20s. All right. The real, at least for a little while longer, the real monetary unit of exchange since Bretton Woods was the U.S. Treasury bond. That was the global money, was the American Treasury bonds. Now, Russia, I don't think they got any American Treasury bonds left. China's pretty well selling them motherfuckers like they're going out of style. The dollar's losing value globally. We're switching. We're in the middle of a switch. And now, just like the founding fathers, Trump and his government structure is looking at it just like the founding fathers did. Okay, what can we make the people's money? What is the most decentralized option that we can choose from? All right, we got gold. Fuck that. China has so much fucking gold. If we revalue it too high, they're the richest country in the world, and we're fucking done. Okay, how about silver? Let's use silver like the founding fathers did. Well, we would, but it's also an industrial metal. And we got a lot of plants we got to build for this shit. If we monetize silver at a national level, fuck that. We're not going to be able to afford any of the chips or any of the transformers or any of the fucking cell phones. Can't do that. But we can hold them in reserves. Absolutely. So then they look at Bitcoin. This is interesting. Decentralized. It has been through some shit. It has been tested. It's fungible. Could we possibly integrate that into our strategic reserve? Folks, the moment Trump said that they were going to create a strategic reserve that had Bitcoin, the price of Bitcoin should have shot up to $1 million. Just because of the word strategic. When you are being strategic, what are you doing? You're coming up with a strategy. You're being strategic. See, he didn't say emergency reserves. He said strategic reserves. Well, if you have a strategy, then there's a bigger plan than just buying it. Right? No, every time you go grocery shopping, those are strategic purchases. I'm going to strategically get some hamburger, and I'm going to strategically get some spaghetti sauce, and I'm going to strategically get some noodles. Then I'm going to go home and I'm going to use my strategy to make me some fucking sketty. The key is strategic reserve. The problem is, whenever you hear Trump talk, you have to understand Trump talk. Trump uses specific words and a specific, shall we call it a cadence when he's explaining stuff. Trump drops bread crumbs all the time. Now, do you want to know how to recognize it when he's dropping a bread crumb? Very simple. He says it twice. Watch him talk. Every time he says something twice, now he may not say it the exact same way, but he will repeat it one after another. That's him dropping a breadcrumb. Oh, shit. Sorry, guys, I've been sitting here rambling on and on. You guys got shit to do. Okay, everyone, thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe to the channel. I will be back tomorrow to talk more about what the fuck is going on around here. I love you guys. And please, guys, give us a call. 941-413-8080. And just ask, how do I get some more Bitcoin? And shout out to Turning Point USA having their event at our club up in Massachusetts yesterday. Shout out. I absolutely love that Turning Point USA held their event at our club in Massachusetts. Absolutely fabulous turnout. And if you want to watch the whole Turning Point show that we did yesterday, check it out on X. It's on my timeline. And you can, I think it's like an hour and some change long. Great people. Turning Point USA, solid Americans, solid, and that's why we were happy to host them at our club up in Massachusetts. So shout out to Turning Point USA and Ed up in Massachusetts, and Jay, our CEO, and Maddie, also up in Massachusetts. You guys did a great job. I'm so proud of you guys. Great job. And we will be having another event with Turning Point USA up in Massachusetts. And this time I'm going to be there. Mid-November, I'll let you guys know. Okay, everyone have a great day. I love you guys. And please like and subscribe before you leave. Don't be a greedy sumbitch. Press a button, hit like, hit subscribe. Because the more shows you hear from me, the more Bitcoin you'll buy. I guarantee it. Love you guys. Have a great day, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Bye-bye.
What if I told you a truck driver cracked the code to building a crypto empire? Meet Bitcoin Ben. He went from driving 18-wheelers to creating 6 different ways for regular people to stack Bitcoin and build wealth. This isn't just another crypto course. This is a complete ecosystem where you earn while you learn. First up, the confidential bulk purchase program. Get Bitcoin at wholesale prices through group buying power. Then there's Home to HODL. Convert your home equity directly into Bitcoin instead of cash. Need funding? The Loans for Bitcoin program gets you the capital to buy more crypto. Want passive income? Private Key Capital puts your Bitcoin to work. Hungry for something different? Bitcoin Ben's tokenized beef lets you invest in real cattle backed by blockchain technology. And if you want to mine? Bitcoin Ben's mining program gets you started with the right equipment and knowledge. But here's the kicker. Bitcoin Ben's Crypto Club pays you to learn. Earn 10% on direct referrals, 5% on second level, 2% on third level. This might be the only membership where you make more than you pay. Ben went from 10 years behind the wheel to becoming the world's most unlikely crypto expert. Now he's sharing everything through live training, community events, and proven systems that work. Ready to stop watching from the sidelines? Join Bitcoin Ben's Crypto Club today and start stacking sats while building your financial future. Your truck driving days are over. Your crypto empire starts now.